Okay, so people at home, we're covering section 2-2 now. We are not going to do section 2.1 from the book that I'm using. So we're just going to start out with section 2-2. All right, in this section we're graphing different types of graphs, graphing lines, parabolas, and other stuff like that. We're also going to be graphing some circles. So I'm trying to remember, did we ever graph circles in Algebra 2? I don't think we did. Graphing circles is super, super easy. You're going to like graphing circles. Okay? All right, so on number 1, we have y equals 2x minus 3. It's been a while since we graphed lines. Hopefully you remember how to do it. So in case you forgot, we do our y-intercept first, -3. That tells you go down 3. Our slope is the number in front of the x, which is 2 over 1. We like our slope to be a fraction. That's the one thing. One time in math we actually prefer fractions. Most of the time we hate fractions. With our slope, we want it to be a fraction. Rise over run. So from this point we rise 2, run 1. There's our line. So any question on that one? That's something you've done 1,000 times in the past. Just graphing a line. Okay, number 3 is not any more difficult. Y equals -x plus 1. The number in front of the x is -1 over 1. So to graph this thing, y-intercept is +1. We go up 1. And we rise -1. We run +1. There's our line. Okay, I'm zipping through these because these are pretty straightforward. Okay, just graphing lines on these first couple. Now, when we get to number 5, 5 is not a line. Easiest tip off that it's not a line. It's got x squared, and y equals -4x squared. I just want rough graphs. Oh, also the instructions says label the x and y intercepts. Don't worry about labeling them. I just want graphs, okay? I just want quick, rough graphs, okay? So y equals -4x squared. Again, this is a parabola. In this case, the parabola is opening down, okay? Because it's a -4x squared. Do you guys remember what else that 4 does to the graph from Algebra 2? Stretches it vertically, which makes it skinnier, okay? So this negative flips upside down. So if this, you don't need to do the y equals x squared. If y equals x squared looked like this, y equals -4x squared would be upside down and skinnier. You don't need to do both of them. Okay, just using that as a reference. Okay. Number 7. Okay, y equals 2x squared minus 1. This, minus 1, right? This one is a parabola also, and it opens up because the number in front of the x squared is positive. That 2 is going to make it thin. Not quite as thin as this one, though, because 2 is not as big as 4. So it's going to be thin, but not as thin as this one. And that -1, you guys remember what that -1 is going to do to the graph? Down 1 spots. Down 1 opens up and kind of skinny. It's just a rough graph. Number 9. I don't believe we ever did this in Algebra 2. This is also a parabola. But it says x equals 1/4 y squared. So this parabola, yeah, we did actually do this. I remember in Algebra 2 now. How's this parabola going to look different, though? It's going to open what? Sideways. Is it going to open to the right or open to the left? Or left and right. Let's hear some arguments.
Right.
Why right?
It's positive.
It's positive. Okay, and that 1/4, what's that going to do to it?
Make it bigger.
It's going to fatten it up a little bit. So it's going to open to the left and it's going to fatten up a little bit. I'm sorry, did I say left? I said left and I wrote right. Okay, so it's going to open to the right and be fat. 1/4 is, when we say fat and skinny, we always compare it to what number? I mean, we said 2, so times by 2. What number is the standard? Not 0. 1. Okay, you always compare it to 1. All right, on the back, number 11. Okay, it says x equals -y squared plus 3. You got to be careful on this one, okay? It's x equals, not y equals, okay? If it said y equals -x squared plus 3, if the x and the y were switched, that plus 3 would move it up 3. Any idea what's going to happen when it says x equals?
Move it to the right.
Right 3 spots. There we go. And again, this is still a parabola because one of the variables is squared, the other one is not. So it's going to move it right 3. And is it going to open to the right or to the left? Fat or skinny?
Normal.
Normal. Very good. Because it's a -1. Okay, y equals -½ x cubed. Okay, in case you forgot what these things look like, okay?
Legit.
If it's a cube, if I give you y equals x cubed looks sort of like this, like part of a parabola here, but instead of swinging up, it goes like this.
Yeah.
If it was negative x cubed, it would go like this, okay? Positive goes up, negative goes down, okay? So, y equals negative x cubed, it's gonna go down, and that half is gonna do what? Is it gonna stretch it out or shrink it down?
Stretch it out.
Why stretch it out this way? Like this?
No.
I mean, stretch it this way, which is gonna shrink it. Just so you understand also, forget about math right now, and I think I talked to you guys about this in algebra too. Like I use the analogy of like dough or something, like pizza dough. If you stretch something vertically, what else has to happen? Shrinks it horizontally, or vice versa. If you stretch it horizontally, it's gonna shrink it vertically, okay? You can't do one without the other, okay? So this right here, since this is less than 1, it's gonna be going down, and it's going to shrink it this way, which is gonna fatten it up that way. It's gonna look sort of like this. I just want rough graphs. Okay, you don't need to plot a whole bunch of points and all that stuff. It's 15. Okay, y equals x to the third minus 8. Okay, this minus 8 is going to move this thing down 8 spots. And it's just going to go like this, and it's going to go like that. It's going to be this one, moved down 8, but flipped. You guys remember what this looks like? Y equals radical x? I know I did this in algebra 2 because I just taught this in my algebra 2 class this year, like a week or so ago. Any idea what that thing looks like? We didn't spend a lot of time. We actually might have only spent 1 or 2 days on it last year because it was such an easy section, seriously, that and then once we did it, we never talked about it again until test time. What it looks like, in case you forgot, it looks like just watch for a second here. It looks like a sideways parabola. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll show you why it looks like that. If I square both sides, we'd have y squared equals radical x squared, and these cancel, so y squared equals x, or I could say x equals y squared, okay? I don't know if that's gonna help or not. So it's gonna open side to side, like this. X equals y squared, so it's gonna open side to side, but it's not the whole thing. If you remember the radical, I wanna make sure you guys haven't forgot this. What's radical 25? 5 and negative 5, or just 5? Just 5, right. The radical is the positive part, okay? So it's the positive part of this graph. It's just the top half. Okay, so what the radical function looks like, it's like the top half of a sideways parabola is what that looks like. And number 19, y equals radical x minus 4. What's this thing gonna look like? Same thing, what? What 4? Down 4. What if it was this? Down 4? What? It's with the x, so it moves at what directions? Left and right.
It'll be right.
Why do you say left?
No, it'll be right.
Why do you say right?
Opposite.
It's the opposite. You remember enough from algebra 2. When it's with the what I said 1,000 times last year was this. If it's off by itself, it moves it up and down what you think. When it's with the x, it moves it left and right the opposite what you think. It would have moved it right 4. But that's not what it says. It says this, so it's going to move it same graph down 4. Cross off 21. Okay. 23. All right.
You have to cross off 22 then?
Yeah, 21, 22 cross off. All right. I wish they didn't. I tell you what, I'm going to be a nice guy here. We're going to fudge number 23. People at home, we're going to alter number 23. Make it x squared plus y squared equals 9. Make that 11 into a 9. X squared plus y squared equals 9. We got to talk about circles. My circle lecture lasts about 4 words. I'm not exaggerating. Okay? It says x squared plus y squared equals 9. Again, we're changing this. People at home, change that 11 to a 9. It'll be nicer, trust me, okay? Before I do this, here's how I'm going to explain circles. First off, why isn't this a line?
It's got x and y, and it's not x equals or y equals, because they're in the same side of the equation. There's no x or y.
If I give you this right here, 3x plus 2y equals 12. That's a line. Why?
That's not squared.
Well, it's not squared.
The,
Both of them are squared.
yeah.
Why is this not is this not aligned? One of them's squared. How come this isn't a parabola? They're both squared, okay? If neither of them are squared, it's a line. One of them is squared, it's a parabola. If they're both squared, for right now it's a circle. For right now it's a circle, okay? We will get ones where they're both squared and they're not circles, okay? I'll show you that, and it's not difficult. That's not what we're going to do today. I may show you real quick, but you don't need to worry about that today. So if I give you this right here, here's my lecture. So if x is squared and y is squared, it's a circle for right now, okay? If I give you this right here, that's a circle. And the reason is x is squared, y is squared, and then we have a number over there, okay? That is a circle, okay? And the circle has a center, in this particular example, of 4, -5, and the radius is 7. Who can tell me in 4 words how my lecture on circles, where are the 4 words?
The 49 comes, or the 7 comes from
Square.
squared 49, right?
Well, not square 40, not square, you're close, you left out a word.
Radical 49.
Or square root, same thing. That's 2 words.
And then
Square root,
Opposite.
opposite, square root. Opposite, opposite, square root. Okay? The center is opposite, opposite. The radius is square root. So, this is, I don't like this example, how it starts out, especially when it's 11, or was that was 11 or 13, whatever, 11. Okay? This is sort of tricky here. What is the center here? Now, -1, there's no ones there. It's sort of a trick question. What did I add on to x? Not x squared, what did I add on to x? Somebody said it, I heard it. No. No, what did I add on to x?
Y squared.
Just x. I added, okay, I'm glad you said that. I added y squared onto x squared. And again, it's sort of a trick question. What did I add on to the x? Nothing. So what number? 0. What did I add on to y? 0. So the center is 0, 0. Radius is what? 3. So the center is 0, 0. Radius is 3. So here's how you graph a circle. Plot your center, 0, 0. Then plot 4 more points. You know what they are? Up 3, down 3, right 3, left 3. And then as best you can, connect them. With some sort of curvature to it. I'll share this story with you guys. I don't know if you know her or not. You guys know Mr. Neal, Zach Neal, used to be a football coach. He has a sister named Megan Neal. This is Neal's daughter. And I'm not autistic either, but I swear to God, when she would do this, she would plot those 4 points. And this is what it would look like, I swear to God. I mean, you couldn't make those straighter if you're using a ruler, okay? So she couldn't do it. I mean, she knew how to do it. She was very, very, and so am I, limited artistically, but it's like, good gosh. All right, 25. Let's do a few more, then we'll let you guys study. Okay, I'm not going to write out this. Do you guys understand why I changed the 11 to a 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nicer number. Okay, I'm not going to write this problem down. I'm not going to write the original problem down. What's the center of this circle? -3, 2, and what's the radius? 3. Okay? All right, so we plot our center, 3 left, up 2, put a dot. And from that point, we do what? And I go up 3, down 3, left 3, right 3. So up 1, 2, 3, down 3, right 3, left 3. Ooh, that looks terrible. Looks better than Megan's did though. Megan Neal's. Okay, 27. Okay, so 27. What's our center? -3, what? 0. What's our radius? 4. Square root of 16. Okay, so -3, 0 is back 3 and stay right there. Go up 4, down 4, right 4, left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I said about 5 minutes ago, I said that for right now, these are all circles. And this 29 is still a circle, okay? And here's, I'm going to give you an example of something where x squared and y is squared, but it's not a circle. If I gave you 3x squared plus 5y squared equals 11. That's not a circle. X is squared and y is squared, but it's not a circle. Why do you think 29 is a circle, but this example is not a circle?
X and Y.
What about them? They gotta be the same. If this was 3 and this was 3, it'd be a circle, okay?
Like an oval now?
It would be an ellipse, yes, it would be an ellipse, definitely an ellipse, okay? Now, one more thing. If I gave you this right here, 5x squared minus 5y squared equals 1. Is that a circle? Are my coefficients the same? No, they're not. Here it's 5, here it's what? Negative 5. Is that an ellipse?
No.
No, it's not. Do you know what it is? I'd be shocked, I'd be impressed as heck.
No.
Rectangle.
No,
Hexagon.
it's a word you've never probably even heard before.
Hyperbole.
It's a hyperbola. It looks like hyperbola. It's not. It's a hyperbola. A hyperbola is like a double parabola. We're going to talk about that, not today.
Oh. The hyperbole.
It's a hyperbola.
We did those.
Okay? All right, so this thing right here. Now, something, our center, here's what we got to do, okay? If you can answer this one, I'll be really impressed, okay? Our center, what is our center? Well, this, you should be able to answer this. What's our center? What? What did we add on to x?
4.
We added 4 on? We didn't add 4 on. How many times by 4? What did we add on? So it's what?
0, 0.
All right. Well, what is our radius? I'm going to tell you right now, it's not 5. It's not 5. If you can answer this, I'll be really, 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 really impressed. I'll give you a clue. Every one of these had just x squared. I didn't write it down, but it was just x squared. Okay, it was like there was no number that were times by. Okay. So, any guesses? It's not 5.
Negative 5?
No. And I'm not making fun here, but to have a radius of -5, that wouldn't. I don't even know what that would even mean. No, that's okay. And I'm not making fun. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A negative radius doesn't really make sense to me.
Is it 10?
Nope.
3.
Give you the clue again.
8.
Nope. The number in front of the x squared was always a 1. It was always a 1. The number in front of the x squared is not a 1 right now. So you,
4.
yeah. So try to make it look like the other questions. What can I do?
Divide everything by 4.
What's the radius?
25.
25 divided by 4? 10?
No, hang on a second. Is the radius here 9?
No, it's 2.
Where'd you get 9 from? Or where'd you get 3 from?
Square root.
Square root of 9.
Oh, is it cube root?
No.
Is it 2?
You're on the right track. We'll do what you said. We're trying to do it in our head here. Divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. Gone. X squared plus y squared is 25 fourths. What's the radius? What's the problem?
Whatever the square root
Oh,
of
25 fourths is the answer.
4
Is the
radical.
You're making it way too hard. You guys know. I'll tell you what.
Is it just radical 25 over 4?
You can do this. What's radical 25?
5.
Over radical 4 is?
2.
So what over what?
5 halves.
5 halves. That's not that hard. Seriously, if I give you this right here, and I'm not making fun, I kind of am. If I ask you for radical 100, you guys have no problem saying 10. If I say radical 9, you'd say, oh, 3. I'm just asking what's radical 100 over 9. That's not any harder.
10 over.
It's 10 over 3. Okay, just put them together. Okay, so the radius is 5 halves. I apologize, I'm kind of making fun a little bit.
We know.
Okay, all right, and 5 halves is the same as 2.5. So, center 0, 0. We go up, down, left, and right, 2.5. So up 2.5, down 2.5, right 2.5, left 2.5. I know I said those backwards. 2 more, then we're done for today. Yeah, definitely done for today. Okay. Any idea what the heck 31, you know, why are we doing 31, 33? Those are totally different. They're not. They really aren't. Any idea what 31 is? This is y equals negative radical 16 minus x squared. Any guesses on what that's going to look like?
A circle.
You're close.
Oh,
No, you're farther.
Wait, what?
a square?
What do you mean a crescent? What do you mean?
I don't know, I heard my brother
Half
talk about it
circle.
one time.
It's a half of a circle. It's half of a circle, okay? Which half? The top half, the bottom half, the right half, the left? How come the bottom?
This is negative.
What's negative?
Uh,
Read this to me.
The entire
Y
thing.
is negative. Where's Y negative? Down. What if it was positive?
Then it'd be up.
Then it'd be the up half, okay? Now, it's gonna be, so I'm gonna put down, it's the bottom half, okay? Down, under, below, whatever, okay? Now, how we can tell it's a circle is this. Square both sides, a half a circle. Square both sides, square this side, square this side. So we have Y squared equals, what's a negative squared? What's a negative?
Oh, positive.
A positive. And these cancel out, so what's over here?
16 plus 6. Minus 6.
Do one more thing.
Plus.
Plus what?
Squared.
So what's it say on the left?
16.
Your other left.
Oh. X squared plus y squared.
Equals what?
16.
Center,
0, 0.
radius.
4.
We squared both sides and made it look like the other ones. So we go 0, 0, up 4, down 4, right 4, and left 4. Do I want all of them though?
No, just the bottom half.
So which of these points shouldn't I have really graphed?
Top.
I don't need that one, so shoot, there it is. Again, if this was negative, if this was positive, what would it be?
Top.
Top half. It's top half of the circle. Last one, 33. X equals radical 9 minus y squared. This is going to be which half of the circle? The top, bottom, left, or right?
Top.
Read what it says.
X.
X is what directions?
Right.
Left and right. Which is it, left or right? How come?
'Cause that's where
X is
Positive.
not negative, it's positive, so it's gonna be the right side. Okay? Square both sides. We square this side, we have x squared. What's gonna be on the right hand side? These cancel, so you have what? Last step,
Add y squared.
so x squared plus y squared equals 9. Center,
0, 0.
radius, so 0, 0, up 3, down 3, right 3, and left 3.
But you only need.
So I only want the right side, so it's the up 3, down 3, and right 3. How would it have changed if I would have put a negative sign in front of that?
Could be.
It'd be the left side. That's not that hard, is it?
No.
Easy stuff today?
Yeah.
I thought so. Okay, a little bit tougher on Friday when we continue this. Okay, rest of the time's yours to study. You got about not quite 20 minutes.